Welcome to my favorite nonprofit radio segment called Nonprofits Care. Their causes are really extraordinary.
Nonprofit organizations serve our community in a host of ways, and yet, until now, there's never been one place to find out about causes that are really extraordinary. It's time for Nonprofits Who Care, hosted by Ralph Grills, founder of My Favorite Nonprofit.
My favorite nonprofit, where causes are really extraordinary. Together we can make a difference. You and my favorite nonprofit.
Welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show with Angel and Eric. It is time for Nonprofits Who Care, and as always, our good friend Ralph Grills is here to share with us. Ralph is from My Favorite Nonprofit. Cool new music.
Yes, isn't it? This is actually the new jingle that we have, and our guest is the one that actually put together, Pat Murphy.
Well, good morning to all.
Good morning, Pat, and welcome to our show.
Well, thanks for having me here. It's great.
Yeah, and I met Pat actually at we did the gala for Up With People, which you guys were at, and Pat Murphy was there, and I found out that Pat was a writer for Up With People as well. He used to work for Up With People as the executive director of production.
That's right. Well, I had a lot of titles when I was at Up With People. Director of Show Development was the last one I had, but I started out as a student a long time ago. I don't even know if I mentioned the year, but it was a while back.
It could not have been that long ago, could you? You're just a young pup.
It's not the years, it's the mileage.
Good answer.
Oh, wow.
Hadn't heard that long time.
Well, we are thrilled to have you on the show, Pat. I know you worked on the jingle for My Favorite Nonprofit, and we do actually have a CD of Pat's here in the studio with us. Tell us a little bit about your experience with Up With People.
Well, Up With People, of course, is an international student program, and I traveled with them when I was a much younger guy. I don't know where the camera is here, but I'll look up at it. But yeah, it was they traveled internationally, and I first came across Up With People in my hometown right outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They came and did a performance at my high school. I was totally taken in by the internationality of it, the students that introduced themselves to me. It was really quite an experience to have. And the next thing I knew, about a half a year later, I was one of them.
So you go around the world spreading peace and unity throughout the world.
Well, yeah, we travel through the world, and it's basically a student experience where it's a very mind-expanding, life-changing experience where you are interacting with students from all over the world. You're living with host families all over the place, and you really learn quite a bit about yourself and about the world from that experience.
But now, Pat, while you were traveling with Up With People, you worked, and your tenure beyond the travels, you worked with some real famous people. I mean, like Marvin Hamlish, John Parr with St. Elmo's Fire. Wow, that takes me back.
Yeah, well, that's that. I'm kind of jumping ahead with my Up With People experience there, but yeah, the answer is after I traveled as a student, I was invited back to be a member of the staff. This is quite a few years later,
right.
And I went from student to songwriter to director of show development, and as part of that, I did get to meet some really interesting people. Marvin Hamlish, one of them, rest his soul. But I got a chance to spend about 45 minutes in a car with him, traveling from Denver up to Fort Collins.
Really?
And this guy can talk. He's like he was vaccinated with a phonograph needle.
Wow, check that out.
He's really quite a guy, but he had a song that he had written actually for Barbra Streisand that he had offered Up With People to use in our show. And that's when I was director of show development, and it's a beautiful song called Ordinary Miracles, and it was really wonderful to meet him. Some of the other folks, Terry Britton, who was a studio guitarist, actually, when I was producing records for Up With People, and he would come into the studio, and he's this little short guy.
Yeah, he's famous for a song, isn't he?
He's quite a famous guy. I knew him before and after, but Terry Britton is the co-author of a lot of the songs for Tina Turner for her comeback album, Private Dancer. What's Love Got to Do With It? He was a co-author on that. And I remember knowing him before he wrote that. And then afterwards he says, "Hey, Pat, I'm famous now." I said, "Yeah, that's wonderful for you."
Yeah.
So now what do you got to do to be famous next?
Well, I think I'm just going to try to keep to the best of my ability doing the right thing and treating people right.
There
I think
you
if
go.
you...
Now, Pat, before Up With People, did you write songs?
Not really before Up With People. I sort of developed that, Angel, as being in Up With People. And I was developed with the guys that, the musical founders of Up With People, the Caldwell Brothers, and folks like that. And they really, you really learn a lot. And also from working with folks like Marvin Hamlish, Terry Britton, Dave Mackay, who was the producer of the I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing jingle.
Is that right?
You know, and so just nurturing.
Perfect Harmony?
You know, some
That's
of those
exactly it, yeah.
jingles, I miss the days
I do
of jingles in marketing. Are you going to bring it back, Pat?
I'm going to try to. I'd certainly like to be part of the jingle writing enterprise here in Denver at some point.
Wonderful.
So anybody out there who needs a jingle written,
I
let me
mean,
know.
you remember them. It takes you right back. You can. I mean, we can think of jingles that were written in the 50s or even in the 40s, and you can sing them, and you would instantly remember who that product was, and and who sang that.
Back then, melody was king, and having a nice melody that you could sing along with that was hummable. And this is something that really got pounded into me when I was working for Up With People for all of those years. So it really developed my.
Well, you have a jingle now, Ralph.
Yeah, that's why I had Pat do our jingle, because he has such a great music background. As a matter of fact, Up With People has performed at 4 different Super Bowls while Pat was there, and he wrote songs and also performed in the Super Bowl.
That was a great opportunity as well. Yeah, in fact,
Tell us a little more about that.
Up With People has actually performed at 4 Super Bowl halftimes, and what's more than that is that Up With People was actually the first group to bring in that sort of extravaganza type entertainment at the halftime, when they used to have marching bands the whole time. And Up With People actually did a Colts game, Baltimore Colts game back in 72
Back
or
in
73.
the Baltimore days.
Yeah, back in the Baltimore. That's right, when they were Baltimore Colts. and not
The
Indy.
Colts, yeah.
But they performed the halftime, and it was the first time that any ball game or football game had something other than a marching band.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here. You
Please
brought,
do.
you brought a CD. Can we give away a CD?
Sure.
Is that all right? Can we do that?
He's looking at it going, but that's mine.
No, we
no.
don't have to give it away
Please.
today. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll connect them with you. But here, I just want to give away a CD because you brought up Baltimore Colts. The first caller, and Charlie, get ready for this, okay? First caller to call in and tell us who is the most famous Denver Bronco who started his career as a Baltimore Colt. You call in, and let us know.
Man.
When the
First
CD.
caller.
You have to give the phone number.
Oh, I should give that, huh? 303-477-5600. 303-477-5600. Who's the most famous Denver Bronco who started his career as a Baltimore Colt?
You will win a free CD from Pat Murphy.
That's almost worth 2 CDs. But let's start with one and see where we go from there.
There you go.
303-477-5600 if you want to win the free CD from Pat.
That's great. Well, also, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. This will be my last segment here on the radio show because I'm going to be doing an hour show starting Thursday, and it's going to be 9 to 10 on Mile High Radio. So we have an hour of nonprofits to be able to interview to give them more time for exposure and awareness.
What a
Very
blessing.
nice. We feel like you're graduating today.
Right.
Kind of like going to
Ralph.
high school now, huh?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, going from elementary to
Does
high
that
school.
make us elementary school?
Oh, middle school.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to college.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ralph, we have had such a great time having you on the broadcast and being able to say, to our listeners that we have a nonprofit extension of the Experience Pros radio show has been such a blessing. So I know that I speak for Angel and I. Thank you so much for what you've done here.
Well, it's been my pleasure. I love giving the nonprofits additional exposure, and this has been a great avenue for them.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations to you, Ralph, and to you, Pat, for bringing jingles back. What's coming down the pike for you next?
Well, what I'm doing right now in Denver, one of the things that I'm involved in, other than creating my own music, is I work with a band called the Nacho Men.
Oh,
Yep,
we know
the
the
Nacho
Nacho.
Man.
And the Nacho Man, yeah, we do the song, we do YMCA and all the stuff. But it's a really, really fun party band. We do a lot of the outdoor festivals here.
Yeah, very
Denver.
famous here in Colorado.
We do a lot of the shopping mall things. We do a lot of private events at country clubs.
You guys do a lot of charity events.
We do
I've seen you at
charity
several
events,
of them.
many charity events, and folks call us up because the band does have a bit of a draw, and so they like to have us there to encourage people to show up at these charity events. Very worthwhile, fundraising type thing. So
You bet.
Very
so,
good entertainment.
So please check out the Nacho Men at nachomen.com.
Yep. And then don't forget, if you're a college-age student, you want to sign up for Up With People, right?
Up With People, I want to give that website as well, upwithpeople.org. Excellent experience for college-age students. Once again, upwithpeople.org. Check that out if you're a college-age student and would like to travel the world and have a very mind-expanding experience.
And if you don't know who the most famous Bronco is, who started his career in Baltimore with the Baltimore Colts, then you can get Pat's music at patmurphymusic.com, right?
At murphymusic.com.
Love that.
Excellent.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ralph, you have been such a great guy to work with. We're happy for you. We're going to feel the pain of you leaving the Experience Pros radio show, but we wish you nothing but the very best.
Well, thank you guys. It's been a really good experience working with both of you. I really enjoyed it.
We've had a tremendous time with you, Ralph. MyFavoriteNonprofit.com. We've done some incredible events, some galas, the classic car ride. We've worked with Project Cure, causes who are really extraordinary. And Ralph, when you get that book written, we want to have you back and feature your brand new book.
I'll appreciate that, and I'll let you know when it's ready.
All right, and we will wrap up this segment by telling you the answer to the question, the most famous Denver Bronco who started his career in Baltimore, and he was there for all of about 1 day.
What?
One day.
Oh, this was a trick question.
John Elway.
Oh,
Elway started with
John
Baltimore?
Elway started his career. He was drafted by the Baltimore Colts and then traded over to the Denver Broncos, and the rest, as they say, is history.
I did not know that.
Yes, sir.
My goodness, I almost wore my number 7 Elway jersey today.
As well
I
you
almost
should have. It's all good.
I would have had the answer written all over me. Anyway.
Again, thank you for listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Special thanks to Pat Murphy and to Ralph Grills for joining us in the studio today. Charlie, our producer, we appreciate you as well. Now go out and do something crazy. Give somebody a 20-second kiss. You know that stands for kindness. Is so simple.
And keep it company. I'd like to see the world for once